Hey guys, so today, as the title says, we are here to see the top 10 Pokemon in Sword and Shield OU, overused. So, what is the criteria that makes those Pokemon the best? Those are, in my opinion, like the Pokemon that are most likely to be broken. So, like, they should be checked, suspect, and they're maybe a little too strong. So let's see the first one. Choice Band Aegislash. Okay, this is one of many sets for Aegislash that work, like Choice Packs, Dancer with Balloon or Dancer with Life Orb, or Double Dancer with Sword Dance and Rock Polish, but this is one of my favorites, if not my favorite, so I'm going to share this one. So as you can see, full attack and full speed, which is all he needs. He outspeeds a lot of threats like Mandibus, which could fall play and things like that. So yeah, the moveset is pretty obvious. You have the best coverage with Close Combat, Head Smash, Iron Head, and Shadow Sneak is just for the priority. If you think you don't need it, you could switch Shadow Claw instead, but I never found myself in a situation where I need the Shadow Claw, or I would lose. So let's go on to the next one, which is Clefable. Even of this Pokemon, there are many sets that work, but this one is my favorite, especially because it's very versatile and nearly every team doesn't have an answer for all of its moves. So, for example, if you see the coverage and you see the Life Orb and you see its max special attack and enough speed to speed creep some Pokemons that right now I won't mention, but basically still around Mandibats and Pokemon like that. So yeah, with Flamethrower you hit all the steel types that come into Moonblast. With Thunderbolt you hit a ton of stuff like bulky waters or things that bother you in general. Soft Boil is just to make it more durable. Okay, so this one is pretty self-explanatory, and let's move on to the next one. We have Dugtrio, which is the most discussed Pokemon actually for being banned from OU and going into Ubers. There is another set which is Focus Sash, but I don't really like it because it lacks firepower in my opinion, and this one has more utility because you can trap like even stuff that usually you can't, and it's a better counter to like Toxapex and Clefable. So yeah, if you get some chip and they kill one of your Pokemon, then you come in and just kill them. The moves, you could consider running Memento, but I like this moveset. You have nice coverage, you have priority, and you have the rocks. So yeah, you can run it Adamant if you feel like you don't need the speed, depends on your team. And it's pretty easy, no? Yeah. Easiest Pokemon to use, I think. So then we have, this is a wall breaker, which means that it's really good against stall because you're usually much faster than all of their Pokemon, so it nasty plots, and anything that switches in gets one hit KO'd, Flash Cannon kills most of the fairies at +2, like even offensive Clefable, and if it isn't offensive and it's like specially defensive, then you can just do some predicts or do some damage to it previously, and then you can kill it with +2 Flash Cannon. The set is pretty easy to use. You could switch Draco Meteor for Fire Blast or Flamethrower if you want better coverage, and so you don't have to waste your boost, like your +2 in special attack. And this is the set. So then we have my favorite Pokemon in this generation, Carbonite. It has pressure, so even things that counter you usually finish their PP before they can kill you, or they can like seriously threaten your sweep. It is a win condition, so if you have this in your team, you're trying to make it work around it, so it can. It's like a late game sweeper, or even early game. If they don't have counters, it just comes in and starts bulk upping, and it's over. It's max HP, max SP def. You could run those 8 areas that are in attack in defense, and if you run them in defense, you beat Mandibats 1 versus 1 when it has fall play. It's pretty easy to use. You just come in, substitute to see what they have. Roost, Bulk Up, and Brave Bird are really easy to use moves. Not many, not much experience needed, and not many things that can go wrong. I mean, unless you stay in on say Charizard in the sun. Okay, we go on to one of the best ground types because there aren't many. I mean, there is like Rhyperior and Diggersby, but come on, let's not joke, and Hippodon. So this is the most used set, which is Sash, max attack, max speed, and it has Earthquake, Iron Head, Stealth Rock, Rapid Spin. Thanks to its ability, it's really handy because in many situations, like against Mimikyu or against teams that don't have a flying ground immunity, which have Pokemon like Hydreigon or Pokemon with Levitate, whatever, you can just Earthquake and it does a ton of damage to a lot of Pokemon. Also with Rapid Spin, if you are against an offensive team, most of the time if you get some damage against like their bulkiest Pokemon, you can sweep in the late game. So yeah, as we just talked, the spread is 252 attack, 252 speed, Jolly, and 4 in special defense. That doesn't really matter. Okay, then we have Dragapult. Dragapult is one of the weirdest Pokemon because it feels like it has a lot of potential with a lot of different sets, but I think that physical, it doesn't really work most of the time because it has a low attack and the coverage is not as good as when it's special. This one is kind of a bait because when they see Life Orb, they don't think Will-O-Wisp, even though this set in particular is pretty popular. It's my favorite, either this one or the one with Leftovers, and it has Substitute Disable, but right now everyone knows it, so they kind of predict you immediately, and it doesn't work as well as when it came out. Infiltrator to hit things through substitutes or disguise. The spread is pretty easy because it's offensive, and that's all. So you get some momentum from your turn, Hex to exploit Will-O-Wisp. It does more damage than Dragon Meteor most of the time, and that's all. Then we have Cinderace, which is like attack Pokemon that you usually use in teams where you don't play Hazards, which are Stealth Rock and Spikes or Toxic Spikes. So if the opponent uses a lot of those, then you can just come in, card change, and exploit, their hazards. It comes really handy against Sticky Web because it makes your team slower, so you could make like their strategy work against them. The item is Heavy Duty Boots, which is really handy because no type of hazard can hit you, and I think it's pretty nice. The spread is max attack, max speed, Jolly, but you could run some HP and some ABS in the HP and special defense to leave Dragon Meteor from Scarfy Dragon. But that's up to you, I don't really care because it's not like I have high jump kick. Pyro Ball is the stab, you can not run it. Your turn is to gain momentum, you could switch it for high jump kick, and Sucker Punch is just the priority, which comes pretty handy because a ton of times Dragapult comes into Cinderace. Then we have one of the most controversial Pokemon, which is Cloyster, because usually as this metagame started, it was seen as underused and not really a good Pokemon, but when people realized that they can exploit King's Rock, which makes you for every move you use, it gives a percentage of possible flinch rate, and I think with Icicle Spear and Rock Blast, thanks to Skill Link, it is around 35%, correct me if I'm wrong, and with Shell Smash, it becomes uncounterable, because the only thing that can counter it is something faster that can kill it, because anything that is slower can just get flinched to death, no matter what it is. Toxapex, Sage Slash, whatever. I have a replay where this thing completely sweeps a team which had 10 answers to it. So it's not even you just have to have something faster that kills it, or you risk getting axed. The set is very normal, Adamant and max speed. You could run it Jolly to outspeed Barrasquida in the rain at +4, but that's such a special occasion that I don't think it really matters that much. And we can go on to the next Pokemon, which will be the Lord, the strongest Pokemon to be ever made, Dracovish. Thanks to Strong Joe, Fishious Rand, if it hits first, it has like 240 power. Pair that with Rain and it kills anything. Like if it's Bandit, it even kills Ferrothorn in one hit. That's like completely crazy. Ironically, I just put one move because that's the only move you're going to use. Like you can run Crunch, you can run Psychic Fangs, you can run Earthquake, Ultra Edge, whatever, but at the end of the day, you're only spamming Fishious Rand because it's like, it should be called kill button. You click it and the opponent dies. It is our last Pokemon, it is the most skillless and kind of stupid concept. I don't know how Game Freak thought about this Pokemon because it's really stupid. It doesn't make any sense that something is so powerful. The spread is max attack, max speed, adamant, because you don't outspeed anything important by being jolly, at least that I'm aware of. So yeah, this is our last Pokemon. I hope you enjoyed them. So Draco, Cloyster, Cinderace, Dragapult, Excadrill, Corviknight, Hydreigon, Dugtrio, and Clefable, with Aegislash being the last one. So it's not in any particular order, but if I had to rank them, I would put okay, first I would put Corviknight, second I would put Excadrill, third I would put Dugtrio, fourth Clefable, fifth Hydreigon, sixth place Aegislash, then Dragapult, 7th place, 8th place Cinderace, 9th place Dracovish, and 10th place Cloyster. Why so? Because let's say Cloyster relies on luck, so if you're not lucky, it's not like it's any magical stuff. So yeah, I don't like the concept. And Dracovish is just like if they have a Pokemon with Water Absorb or something that it's immune to water, like Hydration or whatever, it's just useless because they're never going to waste it, and you're just stuck with like that weight on your team because it can do anything to those Pokemon like Gastrodon, Vaporeon, Seismitoad, which became overused just because of Dracovish, and so on and so on. So that's all for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, drop a like, drop a comment, ask me whatever you want. Maybe you want me to cover some other tiers like underused, VGC, things like that. Let me know. Have a nice day.